It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. It's a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery, a My Little Pony mystery. We're back, we're back, we're back. And so's he. Da 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 da. My Little Pony mystery number 14. Who are these strange black ponies? Tape 2. The ponies had decided to stop and rest at 8 a.m. on the 16th of June. They were about halfway to Rainbow Mountain from Dream Valley, and they decided that just as with the previous day, they would only travel at night, hoping that the black ponies and their helpers wouldn't see them. And so the ponies, humans and guinea pigs who were on this journey, Truly, Lancelofty, Posy, Mimic, Heartthrob, Pinkie Pie, Kiwi Tart, Shellbell, Rainbow Dash, Sky Wishes, Thistle Whistle, Desiree, Jackie, Sparkle Splodge, Twinkle Dodge, Kyle, Kathy, Mary Beth, Steve, Poncho and Marcia went to sleep and only woke up that evening. They had decided to leave at 9:15 that night, but by some strange coincidence, just as they were about to take off in their hot air balloons, it started to pour with rain.
Oh no,
Dodge exclaimed.
When we take off into the sky, Lorraine will start to come into the hot air balloon basket, and my fur coat will get soaked, and all of my lovely rosettes will be ruined.
Well, at least it might wash the soot from your nose, and then you might find that you have a nice ginger nose like myself, Sparkle said.
I don't think that's likely to be a problem, Dodge,
Lofty said.
After all, we can't take off in this weather. It would be far too dangerous. Did you say dangerous? I don't like danger,
Splodge whined.
I'm not very brave when it comes to dangerous things. I was very brave when I had to have 2 teeth pulled out recently. But I don't like danger one bit. Well, fortunately for you, Splodge,
Pinkie Pie said,
we won't be taking any risks, so there will be no danger. But you know, the problem is, this does mean delaying our journey by a day. And if the wet weather continues, who knows how long we'll be stranded here. I don't like being stranded either. Couldn't we walk back to Paradise Estate? Don't be ridiculous, Splodge. What are you thinking of? If we even got out of this hot air balloon, we'd be out of shelter. And we'd be cold, miserable, soaked to the skin, and most importantly, our lovely rosettes would be ruined. Well, isn't there anywhere else we could make a dash for? Somewhere where there'd be, you know, other guinea pigs and ponies and people. Where they'd know where we were. You know, if anything bad happened, no one would know where we were. What are we gonna do? Isn't there anywhere we can go to? Let me look at the rainbow map. Look, we must be quite near the show stable. That's a couple of 100 treetles away from Dream Castle, isn't it? Maybe we could go there.
Everybody looked down at the guinea pig sadly.
Well, it was just a suggestion. What's wrong with going to the show stable? I thought it was quite a good idea. Well, it might have been like a good idea if, you know, we were near the show stable, but since we're like thousands of treetles away now, you know, Splodge, and the thing you'll like find that we're actually in the middle of a meadow, which is in the middle of like nowhere. So I don't think that it's, you know, possible to walk to anywhere where there'll be shelter and other ponies, guinea pigs, and humans, you know? Yeah. Well, what are we gonna do then? We've gotta find somebody. Otherwise, we'll have to admit that we're stranded in the middle of nowhere in a terrible thunderstorm.
But since there was nowhere where the ponies, humans and guinea pigs could go, it seemed that stranded in the middle of nowhere in a terrible thunderstorm, they'd stay. It hadn't actually been a coincidence that it had rained just when Lofty and Pinkie Pie were about to take off in the hot air balloons. The truth of the matter was, if they had been in Nightmare Land, they would have seen Helper Number 1, Mary Cluckton, clutching a bottle, a purple bottle with a yellow lid, marked Raining Teardrops of Doom. This was a potion used by black ponies and helpers, only very occasionally, as they only had 40 drops, each droplet of the mixture made from 40 teardrops, taken from 40 different creatures quite a long time ago now, when they had all met the same fate. Mary Cluckton smiled as she put the bottle back on a shelf in Nightmare Castle, and then the black ponies and their helpers all climbed on to their special clouds, which carried them around Ponyland, and which could travel twice as fast as the MLP's hot air balloons. "Are we all ready then?" Mary Cluckton asked, turning to all of the other helpers and the black ponies standing on the clouds behind her. Everyone remained silent, which Mary Cluckton took to mean as a yes. "Then let's get going then," she said. "Yes," the Black Pony of Darkness agreed. "We should move as fast as possible. After all, there is no time to waste now." And the black ponies and their helpers all zoomed up into the air on their little black storm clouds. And as they floated through the sky in the direction of Rainbow Mountain, all of them were thinking of the same thing. The Black Pony of Darkness's and Mary Cluckton's latest evil plan, which they would put into action when they got to their destination, and which all of the black ponies and helpers would play a part in. Unfortunately though, the storm idea rather backfired on the black ponies and their helpers, since the following day they couldn't make it to their destination, as it was raining far too hard for even their storm clouds to battle through the bad weather to Rainbow Mountain. The following day though, the rain had eased off in the part of Ponyland where the black ponies and their helpers were. The bad weather still continued where the MLPs, guinea pigs and humans were, however, and so they could move no nearer to Rainbow Mountain. The black ponies and their helpers knew this, and so, feeling safe with this knowledge, they started to move quickly forwards. They finally reached Rainbow Mountain at 10:30 that night. The black ponies and their helpers parked their magical black storm clouds about halfway up the mountain, and then proceeded in walking to the very top. They moved as a circle, getting closer and closer to the rainbow curl ponies and the little guinea pig, who the black ponies and helpers knew could solve all of the mysteries that the MLPs wanted to solve. And so that was why they must do something about it before it was too late and the MLPs had spoken more to Dodge's friend Kyle's younger brother and his owner and her 3 friends. The 40 black ponies and their 60 human friends moved nearer until they reached the very top of the mountain. The 4 ponies and guinea pig were settled down to sleep under some rainbow-coloured blankets, which in turn were covered by their magical rainbows, which kept them sheltered from the bad weather, which of course the black ponies and their helpers had now stopped, at the top of Rainbow Mountain at least, where they would be. But of course the 4 ponies and their guinea pig friend did not know that the bad weather had anything to do with the black ponies and their helpers, and so thought that the rain might come back during the night, which was why they were protected by these magical rainbows. The 100 creatures who had come from Nightmareland moved nearer to the 5 little creatures sleeping at the top of Rainbow Mountain, and soon they had formed a circle all the way around the ponies and guinea pig. Helper number 47 and helper number 48 looked at each other, smiling, thinking about what they could do to these ponies, who of course, being asleep, were laying completely still, if only they had a chainsaw. Helpers number 6, 45 and 46 started to edge their way away from the group, having just seen Rainbow Cloud's jewellery box just a little way away. Maybe there were some valuable pieces of jewellery inside which they could steal. Meanwhile, helper number 5 just thought how ugly ponies looked, especially when they were asleep. All of the black ponies and their helpers looked around at each other, wondering what they were supposed to do next. That was until helper number 1, Mary Clockton, whispered something in the Black Pony of Darkness's ear, which he seemed to agree upon. And then the black-haired girl, known as Mary Clockton, leant over and tapped Rainbow Storyteller on the shoulder, brushing her hand gently against the pony's pet guinea pig as she stood back up. Rainbow Storyteller and Kieran opened their eyes at about the same moment, and soon all 3 other ponies were awake as well, awoken by the chaos that followed the scream, which Rainbow Storyteller and Kieran had both let out at the sight in front of their eyes. It finally stopped raining in the part of Ponyland where the MLPs were 2 days later, on the 20th of June 2006. It was very early evening. This was just in time for the ponies to set off on the last part of their journey to the top of Rainbow Mountain, since it was already getting dark. Even though the following day was the longest day of the year, it was still very cloudy in Ponyland, and so the rain seemed to have even ruined the long summer days which the ponies normally enjoyed. They had already travelled most of the distance to Rainbow Mountain from Dream Valley, and so they didn't have much further to go. In fact, they were at the top of the mountain by 9 p.m. They parked the 2 hot air balloons about quite near to the top of the mountain, and so didn't notice all of the black storm clouds parked below. Especially since, now that they were this high up, there were lots of storm clouds around them anyway, so they wouldn't have noticed a few extra further down the mountain. And when they got to the very top of the mountain, they didn't really notice anything strange, apart from the fact that not a rainbow coal pony or guinea pig were in sight. The mountain was very oddly shaped. You'd climb up to the very peak, but then there were a set of stairs, which some ponies had carved into the other side of the mountain, which led down to a kind of platform, slightly lower down, which was where the ponies and guinea pig lived. The MLPs, humans and guinea pigs who had come to the top of the mountain, could only see about half of this platform, and so they didn't think anything was odd about not seeing their friends. They thought they must just be at the near end of the platform, where the ponies couldn't see them. As they moved nearer, they saw movement down below. All of the rainbows at the top of Rainbow Mountain were moving very quickly, into a strange formation. As the MLPs, guinea pigs and humans walked down the stairs, the rainbows created high walls on either side of them. They had created some kind of maze.
I do not like the look of this one bit. No, not at all.
Thistle Whistle cried.
You really think it's a good idea to go in there?
I don't think that
it's very safe to go in there, Thistle Whistle. So if that's what you mean, then it probably isn't a very good idea,
Dodge said.
But I want to find out more about my family and the rest of Ponyland's mysteries. And so, I think we'll just have to go through this maze and find our friends. After all, they might be in trouble.
Let's, hope not. I wouldn't, like any pony to be in trouble. But I suppose that could, be what's wrong. Am I right? Yes or no? Or am I or anti? Kathy asked.
I think you, could be right there, Kathy.
Twinkle said.
I really don't like the look of this at all, but I think we're gonna have to do it anyway. Why don't you like the look of it? You don't think something bad's gonna happen, do you? We haven't even got enough cucumber in little slices that Desiree can break up. 'Cause I need all my food broken up,
Splodge said, turning to Dodge.
I had 2 teeth removed, and they still haven't grown back.
I really think that we should stop all of this nonsense now and start moving through this maze, Sparkle said. I really do think that would be the wisest thing to do.
Well,
Pinkie Pie replied.
I was just thinking. That really does sound like a very good idea, Sparkle.
I'm glad that you agree. Shall we move on then? Sparkle led the way into the maze, and as the ponies walked through corridors and corridors of rainbows, they wondered if they would ever find their friends in this maze. You really must let us out of here, Rainbow Storyteller said, looking around at the rainbow walls which had formed around her. The rainbows were all curled around, making a kind of cage around her and her 3 pony friends and Kieran, her little pet guinea pig. The black ponies and their helpers stood outside. They were the ones who had locked them in the cage.
Yeah, that's right,
Rainbow Rider said.
I really don't think you know what you're getting into here. Once we get our magic rainbows working, they will chase you a very long way away from Ponyland. And then you'll be sorry. Why can't you just live in peace here, like all of the other ponies? You won't see them constantly trying to take over Ponyland.
We will do as we wish, Mary Clocton said. And, my friends, I must tell you, you will not be able to use any of your rainbows, since we have put a spell on them all, meaning they will only obey creatures from the lovely Nightmare Land. So there is nothing you can do, the Black Pony of Darkness added, before he laughed his evil laugh once again. I'm expecting some more friends to come looking for you soon, the Black Pony of Darkness added. So make the most of the space you've got, Rainbow... what are you called?
That'll be Rainbow Coal Ponies to you,
Rainbow Cloud said. Rainbow Coal Ponies. Disgusting creatures as you are, make the most of the space you've got, because when your friends come looking for you, they will be in that rainbow cage with you. I think I can hear the sound of trotting hooves now. And sure enough, the 12 ponies, 10 guinea pigs and 2 humans were just turning the corner. Hello, friends, the black pony snarled from the center of the maze. You have reached your destination, the middle of the maze. Not as pleasant as some mazes, I may say, but much better for those of us who are already here. The ponies, guinea pigs, and humans were still in the center of the maze, or rather what had been the center of the maze. The rainbows which had formed the maze had now all moved, and were creating separate cages for all of the creatures who had been captured. Separate cages so that they couldn't speak to each other and form an escape plan. The cages were in 2 rows, with a space between where black ponies and helpers could walk, and spaces between the individual cages in the 2 rows, which was how they prevented the ponies, guinea pigs, and humans from talking to each other. The only way they could have spoken to each other was to shout to whoever was in the cage next to them, and get that pony, human, or guinea pig to pass the message on until it reached the creature it was actually meant for. But of course, nobody could spread any secret messages this way, so any ideas they had about solutions to mysteries would have to be kept to themselves until they escaped. That was, if they ever escaped. Dodge and Kieran were in opposite cages. The 2 guinea pigs stared at each other sadly across the space between, where black ponies and helpers paraded constantly, making sure that their prisoners had not escaped. Dodge lay down on the grass. It was very long grass, and so a guinea pig could easily get lost in it. And that's why Dodge did not quite understand why the nasty humans and black ponies from Nightmare Land kept pacing up and down looking in all of the cages, since they weren't checking properly if the guinea pigs were anywhere in the long grass. These smaller creatures could have escaped for all they knew.
I cucumber cake.
Dodge sighed sadly as he lay down in the grass.
I do wish I could think of a way to get out of here, but I don't think that I'm going to think of one.
Dodge was the best equipped of all of the guinea pigs, humans, and ponies to escape, though, since he had a magical rucksack which he had managed to smuggle into the cage. It was only about the size of his paw, and yet inside were huge quantities of helpful things. No one had ever quite worked out how they all fitted into the little purple bag which Dodge always carried on his back. The black-nosed Abyssinian stood up, took the little bag off of his back, and started to rummage through it thoughtfully before laying down again. Inside his bag, he had a rather large shovel. The trouble was that most of the items in his bag were actually the right size for a human or pony to use, and since he was on his own, there was nothing that he could do.
If only that shovel wasn't so big, then I could dig my way out. But it's far too big for me to use. Please, somebody help me.
Dodge said, standing up on his front feet and kicking his heels twice for good luck. He laid back down in the exact same spot which he had been laying in before. Except now, the ground was not there. Dodge started to tumble down a hole, and before he knew it, he was in the middle of a tunnel somewhere deep underground. The little black-nosed guinea pig pushed his way through the tunnel, scrabbling to regain his balance as little bits of earth slipped under his feet.
I wonder where this leads to,
he thought aloud.
I'm sure it had something to do with what I just did back there, either opening that magical rucksack or kicking my heels twice. The question is, who created this hole? It certainly wasn't there a moment ago.
Dodge looked down at his paw, realizing that he was dragging something along behind him. It was his magical rucksack. Somehow it had got caught round one leg, and so he had brought it with him. He peered inside the magical rucksack in the gloom, and saw a light shining back out at him. It was a torch, and this time it was guinea pig sized. Dodge listened to a thumping noise above him, obviously one of the black ponies or helpers on patrol again. He froze, waiting for an angry cry, when they realized that he was no longer in his cage. But, just as Dodge had been thinking earlier, obviously the black ponies and their helpers were not checking the guinea pigs' cages properly, and did not notice that he was missing. The guinea pig pulled the little torch out of his rucksack and began to shine the light all the way around the tunnel. Scratched all over the walls were strange symbols. What a shame a pony could not come down here. But then, Dodge looked in his bag once again, and found that he had a camera with him as well. He always had just what he needed. And so he took a few pictures, although they would probably not come out very well, since he was taking pictures of just one small patch of light in a very gloomy tunnel. But one thing that did catch the guinea pig's eye was that one message had been written all the way along the top of the walls of the tunnel. And that message was, "One day, all of our nightmares will wash away. CLM." It's that strange CLM name. Again.
So what does it stand for? Can't you just tell us?
Please, CLM. I'm afraid I can't. But you'll find out soon enough, when that lucky day comes.
Who said that?
Dodge asked, spinning around, looking to see if anybody else was in the tunnel with him. There is no point in looking, Dodge. I'm not here. I'm in hiding, somewhere that I hope you'll never be, although the black ponies and their helpers would love it if you were.
What do you mean by that? And who are you? And what am I supposed to do in this tunnel? So many questions. Can't you just answer these ones for me?
It would be wisest if you turn back and go back to your cage now, Dodge. The black ponies and their helpers will soon spot you. I can inform you, though, that they're all going out tomorrow night, and so you will be able to go and see Kieran then.
Kieran? What's Kieran got to do with this?
That's where this tunnel leads, Dodge. I created this tunnel so that you would be able to go and talk to Kieran. He has all the answers that you'll need. I know that he won't tell you, but he will tell you where you can get the answers at least.
But who are you? I asked you this before. Who are you? And what did all that stuff mean about you not being here, but actually being somewhere else? I do not understand. I am so confused. Please, somebody help me.
I can't answer all of your questions, but those are two that I can answer. Well, the second I can only half answer, really. I, Dodge, am CLM, the one who's been helping you all the way along. You'll find out more about me someday. The day when all of our nightmares wash away. The second half answer I can give comes in the form of a poem. You'll often see the BP gazing into a mirror. What does he see? The answer's a little pink pony. And that little pink pony is me. And then the voice faded away. Dodge thought that he had better listen to CLM, the pink pony, who he now knew had just sent him this message and also created the tunnel, and go back to his cage for tonight. I wonder where the black ponies and their helpers are going.
And how does CLM know? Just two more minstrels to add to my list. If only my dearest owner was here, he would tell me what to do.
But as it was, nobody, apart from Dodge, had heard this last message. So the black-nosed guinea pig knew that he must hold it in his mind until he could tell someone else. He would go and talk to Kieran the next day by using the tunnel that CLM had created. Maybe Kieran would be able to help with all of the mysteries that were in Dodge's mind.
Maybe everything will turn out alright in the end. If CLM says that Kieran knows the solutions, and even though he will not give us the answers, he will be able to tell me where we can go to solve our mysteries, then surely after I've spoken to him tomorrow, I will be able to help my owner and his friends out. I hope so. And I'm also sure that CLM is right when he says that line again and again, even though I'm not quite sure what that line means.
Dodge laid back down in the cage, which he had just re-emerged from the tunnel into, and started to drift off to sleep. He tucked his little magical backpack under his tummy so that nobody would find it. He knew that inside he had a camera with pictures of all of the messages and pictures from the inside of that strange tunnel which CLM had created, apparently. Some of the pictures he was sure could help them solve their mysteries. There was one large picture of humans moving into Ponyland, and another slightly smaller picture of a girl who looked suspiciously like Helper Number 1, Mary Cluckton, sitting at a desk with a large life-size model of a black pony in front of her, with a little black pig standing by its side. Surrounding the two creatures were cans and strange little sticks. The drawings had not been very good, but Dodge thought that somebody might be able to work out some answers to their mysteries by looking at these sketches, which he had taken photographs of. As Dodge snuggled down into the long grass to sleep, he began to think once again of the line which he hoped would one day come true, whatever it may mean.
I'm sure it has a nice meaning, but I don't quite understand it,
Dodge thought to himself as he went to sleep.
But whatever it is, I do hope that it happens, because it really does sound nice to think that all of our nightmares will be gone. Although I'm not sure why they won't just be gone. Why will they wash away? After all, a bath is a worst nightmare, not something that would get rid of your nightmares. Whenever I have a bath, it ruins all of the lovely rosettes in my fur. They don't go back to normal for days afterwards. I doubt if it's got anything to do with washing guinea pigs, though. It's something else. But I do hope that one day we will find out the meaning of that line when it does come true. I do hope that one day all of our nightmares will wash away.
Strangely though, although Dodge had been told by CLM that the black ponies and helpers would be leaving the guinea pig and his friends unguarded at the top of Rainbow Mountain the following night, the helpers did not leave on the night of the 23rd of June 2006, nor on the 24th of June. Dodge was lucky enough to overhear a conversation on the night of 24th of June 2006 though, when the Black Pony of Darkness was talking to Mary Cluckton about the celebration the following night. Helpers number 16 and 17 were celebrating something, and all of the other helpers and black ponies would be going down to Earth the following night to help celebrate. Helper number 17 was not too pleased about whatever it was that they were celebrating, apparently, and so the party may not continue for long, although 16 was quite excited, and so he was hoping that helper number 43, the Chief Seer and Arracher, might be able to help him make a special sea from an NMP, maybe one of the ones which 20 was supposed to have brought, up to Ponyland just after his birthday on June the 11th. At least that's what he's saying, Mary. The only problem is, helper number 20 never gave us those NMPs, you know. Yes, sure enough, he did say he'd bought them, but he never handed them over to us. I think that we ought to say something to him, Darkness. Just make him worry a little, and then he'll have to hand them over, won't he? Perfect plan, Mary, the Black Pony of Darkness replied, and the Black Pony and his helper walked away from Dodge's cage.
What a shame that they have to use initials all of the time. I think maybe they only stood in front of my cage so they could bother me by telling me all of this information that I would not be able to understand, and that is just plain cruel.
Dodge stamped his feet impatiently on the ground just by the tunnel which he knew lay beneath the long grass.
I suppose I'm going to have to just try to sleep another night, but I can't sleep not until I've spoken to Karen and we've escaped. Mind you, whatever it is that 16 and 17 are celebrating, can't even remember what those numbers were, although I'm sure we would have known if only my owner had his notebook in this cage with me. Anyway, whatever they are celebrating has been quite useful to me, because it does mean that tomorrow, when all of the Black Ponies and their helpers leave for Earth to go and help 16 and 17 celebrate, that will give me a chance to go through this tunnel, speak to Kieran, and get us all out of here. The only trouble is, if they say that 17, whoever 17 may be, is not very happy about the thing that they're celebrating, and that they might not be at the party long, it will be a race against time. So I hope that Karen will be able to help me. Chalk on the cake, I'm getting too wound up over all this. I've just said all of that out loud. What if one of the Black Ponies ought to help us have walked past? I would have ruined all of our chances. Why did CLM have to speak to me? Why is it always left up to me to save all of the ponies in Ponyland? Mind you, that job is never too hard for a magical Ponyland guinea pig. But right now, I've just got to get some rest before tomorrow. Because after all magical Ponyland guinea pigs need their rest. And so the little black-nosed guinea pig lay down in the grass for one more night, and began to dream of everything which he hoped would happen the following day, on the 25th of June, 2006. But unfortunately, the Black Ponies and their helpers did not leave for Earth to help 16 and 17 celebrate whatever their good news was on Sunday the 25th of June 2006. They stood guard all of that night, and so Dodge still didn't get a chance to go through the tunnel to Kieran's cage to find out solutions to any of their mysteries, or to free himself and all of his friends. The reason, apparently, Dodge had discovered from listening to conversations between Black Ponies and helpers for them not going down to Earth to celebrate 16 and 17's good news was that 20 had still not returned to Ponyland with the 200 to 300 NMPs for seeing and RHing, and the Black Ponies and helpers had hoped to take these NMPs as presents for LD and JD, helpers numbers 16 and 17. Dodge had found out by listening to the Black Ponies and helpers' conversations that day, though, that they were going down to C20 the following day, or at least some of them were, to see if they could get these NMPs.
and then, if they were successful in getting the NMPs, they would go down to see 16 and 17 the following day, at around 10 p.m, and then they would be staying down on Earth with 16 and 17 for the night.
Well, I guess tomorrow we'll just have to do them,
Dodge said to himself.
But this is really getting silly now. Every day I think I'm going to get a chance to see my friends, and then I never get that chance. I just hope that 20 has got his NMPs, whatever they may be, and that they take them down to 16 and 17 tomorrow, around 10 p.m. And then I have the whole night to speak to Kieran and solve some of our mysteries, or at least find out where I can solve the mysteries, and to free all of my friends. I just hope that the 26th of June 2006 will be a lucky day for all of us. I just hope that tomorrow will be that day that CLM spoke of, when all of our nightmares wash away. Although I don't think that that's very likely.
But for some strange reason, the Black Ponies and their helpers must have rescheduled the party at 16 and 17's house once again. Maybe they were trying to throw all of the ponies, guinea pigs and humans off, if they had a plan to escape while the Black Ponies and helpers were down on Earth. Dodge didn't know this though, and had stayed awake all night, hoping that the Black Ponies and helpers would go late. But it was only at 8 o'clock in the morning that Dodge finally decided that it was useless to try to stay awake. The party at 16 and 17's house must have been cancelled, and so he closed his eyes and went to sleep. And so, 5 minutes later, at 8:05 that morning, he did not see a trail of black ponies and humans walking away from Rainbow Mountain and towards their travelling storm clouds. So it was quite a shock when he awoke 11 hours later at 7:05 p.m. and found that they weren't there.
Where did they go?
He said aloud, and then realised that instead of worrying about where they had gone, he had better make use of the time while they had gone. He quickly pushed the grass, which he had used to cover the entrance to the tunnel, away from the tunnel entrance with his front paws, and dived down the hole. As he scuttled down through the tunnel as fast as he could, he wondered what he should say to Kieran. All the questions he had wanted to ask the little white-nosed guinea pig had gone out of his head, and now the most important thing was escaping from their horrible cages on Rainbow Mountain. Desiree, who was 2 cages along the line from Dodge, looked at Pinkie Pie, who was the pony between her and Dodge. Pinkie Pie was looking at Dodge's cage in shock. Desiree could not see past the pink pony to see what she was looking at in such amazement, and so the Earth Girl decided to ask Pinkie Pie.
Well, you know,
The little pink pony replied.
I was just watching Dodge in that cage over there, and then it was very strange. All of a sudden, he just disappeared into the ground. I saw him scrambling at the ground a bit, but then it wasn't long enough for him to have dug a hole. But then, all of a sudden, he was just gone.
Pinkie Pie pressed herself up against the back of her cage so that Desiree could look past her. Of course, she couldn't see very well, since the grass in Dodge's cage was so long. But it didn't appear that anything in Dodge's cage was moving, and so it seemed as though the little guinea pig had disappeared. Well, I wonder what happened there then, Desiree asked.
What do you like talking about, Desiree?
Twinkle asked in the cage that was the other side of Desiree, to Pinkie Pie. Desiree had been shouting in the opposite direction to Pinkie Pie, obviously, and so Twinkle hadn't heard.
I was just, wondering why no one ever talked to me. After all, now that the black ponies and their helpers are gone, we may as well, be speaking to each other,
Desiree quickly explained what Pinkie Pie had seen.
That is, very strange,
Twinkle said.
I might, spread that news a bit further down this cage line. I'm gonna tell Cassie about it, now, and see what she, makes of that.
And soon the news had spread all the way down this line of cages, on one side of Dodge's cage, obviously. And soon everybody was wondering what Dodge was up to.
Well, I just hope that he's gonna, get us out of here,
Cassie, Twinkle's sister, said.
Although I haven't been allowed to see you other guinea pigs for so long, you've told me enough about, Dodge for me to know what he's like. I just hope that he isn't, getting us into even more trouble.
Haha,